Ukrainians in Kyiv are expressing skepticism over Russian claims that the city of Pokrovsk in Donetsk has been captured, as Moscow says its troops now control the town. Residents say there is no confirmation from the Ukrainian General Staff, and many suspect these announcements are propaganda timed ahead of ongoing peace talks.
To be honest, I don't believe it because there is no confirmed information from the General Staff. On the contrary, it's the opposite. The information is contradictory and being denied. I think this is being hyped up ahead of the upcoming negotiations, and that's why this information is most likely not true.
Every meter of our land is important to us, and being attached to territorial Pokrovsk, Bakhmut, these are also important places. We need to fight for every meter, and how to influence this, that will depend on the professionalism of our diplomats.
From Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited a military command post and received reports from Chief of Staff Valery Gerasimov. Russian officials announced the capture of Pokrovsk, referred to in Russian as Krasnoarmeysk, in Vovchansk in Kharkiv, along with other settlements.
Comrade Nikolai Malkovadovich, Joint Group Forces carrying out mission per SMO plan, Chief General Staff Harold Roman, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, comrades.
Officers, comrades, commanders, and tax officials, participants of the meeting, as soon as the Chief of the Main Operations Directorate is ready. Comrade officers, attention please.
Dear comrades, good afternoon. We will conduct the southern site. The commander reported on the situation in his area of responsibility.
The North Troop Grouping has completed the liberation of the city of Volchansk today. In addition, as part of establishing a security zone near the border areas of the Sumy and Kharkiv regions of Ukraine, in November, 3 more settlements in this area came under our control. These are Sinelnikovo, Tsegelnoye, and
Dvorichanskoye, a settlement in Ukraine.
The Center Troop Grouping has liberated the city of Krasnoarmeysk and continues to destroy enemy units in Dimitrov. In addition, part of the grouping's forces is successfully advancing in the Dnipropetrovsk region.
Liberation of the city of Krasnoarmeysk. At present, search and destruction of the remaining forces is underway.
This is an important direction. We all understand how important it is. And this will ensure for us the steady and unwavering resolution of all the primary and most important tasks that we currently face and that were initially set at the very beginning of the special military operation. Overall, we are observing that the troops of the joint grouping are increasing pressure along the entire front line. In recent days, control has indeed been established over several large settlements that are of significant importance for further actions. Regarding the liberation of the entire territory, including those areas that are still under enemy control, the commander of the Center Troop Grouping, Valery Nikolaevich, during our meeting on October 25th, reported on the encirclement of the AFU grouping in the Krasnoarmeysk-Dimitrov agglomeration area. Valery Nikolaevich, just to confirm, Chief of the General Staff, is the city of Krasnoarmeysk in our hands?
Yes.
Please report in more detail.
U.S. National Security Advisor Steve Witkoff is set to meet Vladimir Putin in Moscow as both sides work on a revised version of Donald Trump's proposed peace plan.
To be honest, I don't believe it because there is no confirmed information from the General Staff. On the contrary, it's the opposite. The information is contradictory and being denied. I think this is being hyped up ahead of the upcoming negotiations, and that's why this information is most likely not true.
Every meter of our land is important to us, and being attached to territorial Pokrovsk, Bakhmut, these are also important places. We need to fight for every meter, and how to influence this, that will depend on the professionalism of our diplomats. No matter how it may be, maybe some people won't like it, but in order to negotiate peace, we need to negotiate with those we are fighting against. So running to the Americans, then going somewhere else, playing a game of broken telephone, that's just my personal opinion. Diplomacy works a bit differently, but we either need to sit down at the negotiating table if there's a willingness to reach an agreement or continue fighting.
We have a very clear tendency where the Russians truly and consistently rely on creating a powerful and pervasive propaganda image. We've seen on numerous occasions how they deliberately send their soldiers to strategically plant flags and meticulously record it for their own purposes. I'm not entirely sure at this moment whether they actually took control of the territory or not. We know there's a tendency for this to just be a propaganda image. We've already had such precedents before. I don't think so.
No, well, I don't know how true it is that Pokrovsk was captured. In my opinion, maybe not, because there was information before that Pokrovsk had already been captured, that there was fog, that they had already entered there. So I think most of this is not true. I think that we are still holding our defense there. I hope so. And I think it's a lie that they've entered there.
I think, of course, maybe if they capture Pokrovsk, if that really happens, then they will keep pressing Ukraine further, that they will continue to capture it.